And again, Dakota himself confirmed that he did bring a knife into the room where she was at. There's no reason at all that there should be a knife brought into the room while a CPS person is there.
Let's get started this off with the first.
Hey, hang on. We have to do this in a special order, okay? Number one, you did have a copy of the petition and you remember the judge reading it to you, correct? Is that a yes?
Yes.
Okay. And you also know that we have asked for a jury trial, correct? Is that a yes?
Yes.
They're recording everything, so they need to
Oh, okay,
hear-
so I need to state yes.
Yes, exactly.
Apologies.
Okay, so a lot of what you might say is going to be for the trial, so we might not want to let everybody know ahead of time, but you have some important comments to make, you think, today, correct?
Yep.
And these comments are going to be where you think the worker may be misrepresented, what she was saying,
I
correct?
would like to actually show off, if I can, what happens on my mental states. I can show it at any point in time and what happens when I get angry.
Well, why don't you tell us then, because that's an
So
important
the
issue.
original thing, the reason why I was originally diagnosed with homicidal and suicidal bipolar was because my dad has it. It is a genetic thing. Why do you think I was also trying to keep his fits down in case he does have any anger issues? I was pre-prepping even for my own mental health. Why I had been mentioning the pacifier to the people. I had also had a breakdown in front of the actual caseworker because of Patty. I have been attempting to get this car done for about 2 weeks now. The car that was actually court ordered by the thing. Have not truly had help, and every time that I do, I have to either fight with her to the point where I'm yelling and screaming throughout my house, which has been the last 4 days. You can even reference to my honey for that aspect. Just yesterday, I had to have a own talk about my own honey's medical expenses.
Well, hang on, it's just, when you were saying my honey, who are you referring
Honey
to?
used my girlfriend over in the side that is Jackie Lomas. I always use the term as my honey
Thank
or
you.
mine.
Okay,
Patty has a problem with me stating my because I go around my house just stating mine because it's how I understand what I can actually use. She doesn't understand that that is the case in
I
point.
understand. Okay,
So
so
I have issues with that. And if you notice, this is what I was doing, showing that I was caring. I was taking my time. I was even giving the aspects. The only thing that I couldn't stop is I have a pathological need to swear at sometimes. So the worse I get, the more I swear. I stated that to them. And the only word that I was using in the court was F, the F word.
okay.
I don't know if I'm allowed to state that.
Appreciate you not using that.
Yep, that's the
Okay.
reason. Or effing, to repeat. Those were the only terminologies that I used in the actual visits. I have been repeatedly asked, but every time that I was also talking, it was also only about Patty.
Let's get back to the issue of visits. Do you want to be,
That was also the reason why I was so to repeat, I had also stated I was going in there on mental weed. If they had noticed at the start of my visit, when I was not having any issues, I was actually, being perfect, fine, cozy, doing everything that I needed.
and why was that? Do you
It's because I had taken my marijuana. I was not feeling joint pain, which is what it was prescribed for.
So you
I
have
was
a
even-
prescription for marijuana?
I was told by my doctor to self-medicate. That is why I've been doing it for the past 5 years.
Would you be willing to sign a release? So
I-
Child Protective Services will contact your doctor and verify that. Would you? be
Yes,
okay?
I would be okay with that. I actually had gotten, the only reason I'm even on SSI right now is because 5 years ago, I originally was trying to get my entire mental health checked because I wanted to make sure she was safe in my house, Jacqueline Lomas. Because I wasn't feeling comfortable with everybody micromanaging what I had to do. And even during those 5 years, I had Patty repeatedly come into my house and start cleaning my house without my say-so. And at that point, I had panic attacks at that point, so I had neglected my entire
Patty being whom?
Patty Lomas that is sitting back in the court right now.
Okay, that's your girlfriend's
Mother,
Okay, got it. Okay.
which I have been having these repeated same issues with her money and having to actually help her with her own money every single time. We had even attempted to change her own physical
Whose
standing.
money are we talking about?
Jacqueline's Lomas money for her own safety so that she could be her own payee. The only reason that I even became the payee is because Jackie felt more comfortable with me being the payee.
You are a payee for,
I am not a payee
Okay.
anymore. She had taken the rights over. Patty Lomas, the mother, had taken the rights back. After not even a single week of me having it.
let me ask you on visitation. If the court determines that you can't personally be there with your child, would you like to be there by FaceTime or Zoom so you can see the child and talk to the child so the child recognizes your voice?
Yes. Also, the reason why I had stated to the court, can I show it, is because I only have to say the single word and I have a seizure right then and there. That is my safety mechanism. When I get too angry, it's not the action I'm going to cut someone. That is the thought that crosses my mind. But in doing so, my first action is to physically shut down my body so that I have it. The weed acts as a stimulant. I'd even stated when I was using alcohol, the only time that I ever, and I stated this politely, ever used alcohol is when I cannot feel my legs to the point where moving. That is the only time. It is to help numb, increase blood flow, and to also increase my oxygen intake. So I'm not hyperventilating, having anxiety or aggression. And normally it takes about one a day just to keep me tipsy. And that is just cozy and at tipsy.
One what?
One Smirnoff, you know, the red, white, and blues?
No.
Okay.
Is that a bottle you're talking about?
Yes,
So-
it's a literal 16 ounces.
Is that
That's about it.
is that
And I would
vodka?
only have one of those if I was even.
Yeah, I'm not, what is Smirnoff? Is that vodka?
Okay, Smirnoff is normally a combination of a usual cocktail drink. It is usually involving a high fruity.
It's like a seltzer.
Yeah, it's like
Oh,
a seltzer
okay.
base.
So it's not straight.
It's not even straight vodka.
Okay, got
I'm
it.
even taking minor doses for that, and I have even stated that to everyone that I
The
have.
doctor okay with that too?
That is the only thing that I have not talked with, but to repeat, I was also told to self-medicate.
Now, you've heard at least it raised that maybe you might consider moving out of the house for the child to be with your girlfriend and her mother. Your thoughts?
If I had to, the majority of my anger issues that have repeated for the last 2 weeks have only been regarding to Patty Lomas. The majority of it has been stating that same thing repeatedly to the court.
The question is,
Yes, I realize what the question is. I'm understanding the anger aspect too.
okay, I think the court heard that.
Yep.
Of course, we're gonna have our day in court on
Yeah,
the
this is the
petition.
reason why I wanted to double check everything. The first thing, the only thing that I can agree with was for on court record to actually agree with the majority of what this petition has stated, including my own mental health and the aspects that I have is that my house was not unlivable, quote unquote.
Well, hang on, we'll get to that when it comes to the trial, okay?
Apologies.
Oh, no, no problem. Have we covered those important decisions regarding parenting time?
My issues right now is I would actually request as a court hearing to have Patty actually move out of my house. I need her out of my house so fast. Last night, it proved to me that I had more anger issues because she has been here, because a lot of my bills and stuff revolve around 2 checks, not just one.
Some people might say that they're concerned for her physical health. with these
Actually,
things.
the only reason that is the case is because she would not she continuously went even behind Jackie's back, called up a doctor on thing after we had been repeatedly asking her to only wait an hour when we had already called a doctor to get Jackie's prescriptions fixed. We had to go to the ER because Patty Lomas had panicked to the point of thinking she had syphilis, which did not have any case in point. So or syphilis, whatever you want to be equate.
Okay.
And then after that, we had gone to the doctor. Even the doctor was telling her she was fine in the hospital right over, didn't even give time for it, and had already pushed that aspect. I usually do the majority of my girlfriend's pills or.
Well, we're not on to those
Okay.
things. We're just here about I'd like to focus on the parenting time. Have we discussed everything that you want to on
Yes, for
that?
parenting time, yes. So if it is necessary for me to not be involved in those, as the case. Also, hold on, for parenting time, I had stated multiple times on the aspect of just light minor reminders for Honey, because I know she forgets at times. She gets panicked and then has her issue, which is she just overly nitpicks at certain aspects, just like I do.
What triggers you?
So I have three different things. One, if you are not, when I have already specifically asked you of a task, the only task that I have actually asked of Patty to even come down here and had specifically stated to her not to come down here if she was sick, which when she had found out that the actual.
Oh, we understand that. What's the second?
Yep, apologies, I had a whole bunch of things lined up, and this is just the first of the things, very many.
What's the second trigger?
The second trigger, like I have stated, if I actually stated, I actually will have a seizure. I can't state it on record because I had a issue when I was younger with a past ex, why I have so many tendencies. I've been lied for
What's
2 years.
What's the third then, if you can't mention the second?
So the third one, I honestly have issues with cleaning my house because my body does not work normally at certain times, which means that's why I'm taking the marijuana.
Okay. Let me ask you this. If the court were to order you out of your house, I have no idea what the court's gonna do. Okay?
Yep.
But if the court were to order you out,
I would not have a place to stay. I would specifically ask for Patty to be moved out.
but
Specifically,
if the court ordered you out, would you be out?
I would have to be out if that was the case.
I don't know what the court's gonna do, so I'm just asking every scenario. You understand?
Yep. And if you notice, this is without weed. This is why I am showing this to the court. This is without any docile nature.
So this is your worst case scenario.
This is
what we're
my
saying.
worst case scenario. This is why I came here specifically to show the court what was actually happening.
Okay.
Also, when that knife was even mentioned, I had the back of the blade hidden like this so that I wouldn't actually hit my foot, or to actually, knife etiquette states that you hold the blade to the back of your wrist to make sure that anyone that is in any state or actual has issues has to hold it correctly this way. I had even stated it and showed it to her and had shown her the issue of if someone is in a threatening motion. I had even shown her the issue when a blade is actually raised out and held down to the side. That is normally an action of aggression. Well, the way that I was holding it was an action that I didn't even want to get near you. There was a box behind her for the car seat, which is why I had grabbed a knife. I hadn't stated anything, had just taken my weed and went over and was on my task and doing stuff around my house.
So basically, you're not aggressive when you have your weed.
When I have my weed, I am very docile to the point that it is the case. The only time that I am not docile when is there a problem.
Okay, gotcha. Well, I'll see if any other attorneys have questions for you, okay?
Yes, please.
Ms. Thomas.
Thank you. Mr. Hammond Duckworth, when was the last time that you used marijuana?
Literally just yesterday. I specifically had taken a 200 milligram and a single hit yesterday to guarantee that I would be safe and happy and healthy for everything, including if I was having a panic attack. So I calmed down multiple times during the actual issue yesterday.
Do you think that you're appropriate during parenting time? Do you think that you pose a risk of harm to him?
Honestly, yes. I was actually explaining to an actual social worker what my issues that I have been dealing with, and that is also including the car aspect, that I have repeatedly kept having to say to Patty Lomas almost every single day, which has caused her not to feel safe in my house like she has recommended. And I have only asked
Mr. Hammond Duckworth,
repeatedly.
I'm just going to re-ask my question. Do you feel that you are safe to your son during parenting time?
Oh, yes. Actually, I was more safe than what I was realizing. The only 2 times I was actually going and.
Your Honor, I'm just gonna say my client has answered. She asked if we felt safe.
Okay,
He said yes. So
Apologies, I don't know how much you
Mr.
want.
McFarland, if he wants to continue answering the question, I can appreciate your concern on his behalf, but if he wants to explain that, I think as far as it relates to parenting time, it's very relevant, and I would like him to be able to do that.
Thank you.
So the first parenting time, the reason why I had come in so distraught for the second one was because the first one I had found out the infamil that they were serving her him and not even taking my response of saying that Similac was supposed to be given to the child. Specifically, I had brought an entire case of a 40-pack of bottles of Similac to my first hearing. That was to make sure that I had everything. I had even washed bottles specifically that were already stated for that. And I'm still having that used against me in court, which is another reason why I feel like I have to state this. And I realize I am overstepping my bounds and my attorney has already told me to stop. But I feel like I have to say this, because if I don't, it's gonna eat away at me for next week. I'm trying to repeat. The majority of this petition, I could state that half of this is wrong, including the even aspect of me actually going in multiple times to check my own girlfriend to get her health. This is why I said that I wanted to be last time here. The
Okay,
majority of this petition was wrong.
okay. Your Honor, I have no further questions. Thank you.
Mr. Brooks?
Sir, are you having a panic attack right now?
Because so the other reason why I have these issues is I remember everything. That means every aspect, every even issue. I normally just start crying. And then I get worse and worse. And then I snap, which at that time it takes, the last time that me and my honey originally had an argument, it lasted over 5 hours. And that was me asking if she's okay, or if there's anything that I can do for her. Sometimes she doesn't even understand her own body, which is why we go through the health mechanisms that we normally do. You know what doctors do. Are you experiencing 0 from 10 pain? We go through that thing. And if she's experiencing any pain that is over the 6 limit, I normally call an ER visit to guarantee that everything is happy, healthy, and safe in my house. And that even includes if I feel if I'm being too aggressive. Sometimes that is even to the case of that point. If I'm being too aggressive, I will make sure that she is actually getting her mental health checked at the hospital, and we will take a night at that time.
Sir, my question was, right now at 10 minutes to 12 today, are you having a panic attack?
So right now would be equating to a panic attack. This is my minor first stage. My second stage is usually I need stuff done. It is no other option. Patty has pushed me to the point where I've had no fucking point to use my second stage normally. And that has happened at least 6 times this week. And it has been over her own daughter's health. I literally had an argument yesterday about making a bed. And all it was moved was 2 inches.
I have no further questions, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ms. Underwood, any questions?
I have no questions. Thank you, Judge.
Any redirect, Mr. McFarland?
No, thank you.
Recross?
No, Your Honor.
Thank you for your testimony. You may return
Thank
to your
you.
seat. Any other witnesses, Mr. McFarland?
No, thank you. Watch your head, please.
Mr. Brooks?
I'm finding out right now. Do you want to get on the stand or no?
If you want me to.
Well, you just tell me if you showed me all that stuff and I'm just wondering if you want to tell the court about that.
You can do whatever you want. It's not me. Do not look for, if you notice, that's also a care method that we use. Sorry.
You don't sound sure.
I'm not sure.
No, we do not have anything to say.
Any witnesses you'd like me to hear from, Ms. Underwood?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
All right. Comments in closing, Ms. Thomas?
Thank you, Your Honor. At this time, we would just ask the court to make the findings that reasonable, if actually active efforts have been made for this family to continue to assist in the reunification process and to help the family, I guess, with placement, have the most family-like placement for this child. It does not seem that that is an appropriate placement. We are asking the court to continue placement with the department and allowing the child to remain in the licensed foster care home. Based on the testimony we've heard today, there seems to be a clear concern about the safety and well-being of all of the adults in this matter, which would clearly imply a substantial and imminent risk of harm to the child. We are asking the court to suspend parenting time as relates to father, pending further psychological evaluation to understand how he could possibly interact with his child in a safe manner. I think that his behavior also poses a substantial risk of harm to the service providers that are involved in assisting this family. And I believe that that is unreasonable to ask them to continue to place themselves at such risks where there have to be safety plans to the extent that they are implemented right now. We are asking the court to continue. And also as it relates to Mr. McFarland's insinuating that perhaps online or video call parenting time could happen. I would also like to point the court back to the testimony of, and even father's own testimony of the inappropriate language use, the scattered dialogue, and the inability to really focus on the child in and of himself. And for those reasons, we are just requesting a full out suspension of parenting time. As relates to mother, we would request continued supervised parenting time as policy requires. And with that, we would ask the court to continue the authorization of the petition pending the trials. Thank you.
Mr. McFarland.
Your Honor, I don't recall there being any testimony that my client spoke inappropriately to the minor child, raised his voice to the minor child, threatened the minor child. So I don't know how we can extrapolate that by him doing a remote contact by Zoom, which no worker should be involved in, which could be immediately shut off from the other side, why the child couldn't hear his voice. It appears as though he's demonstrated appropriate vocal conduct in front of the child. So that's what we're asking, and we're still requesting the jury trial.
Mr. Brooks.
I can see, listening to this man testify, how the caseworkers could either A, confuse or deliberately distort what they perceive as his threat. He knows he has issues mentally. How often are we in here and people don't even acknowledge they have them? It's every week, and they don't know that there are issues. He knows. He does. Maybe it's not the politically correct thing to do, but he knows how to mitigate those issues so that he can be more appropriate. Now, I don't know what this diagnosis said about him being homicidal or suicide. I haven't seen it.
That's why I
But
was.
no, don't help me.
No, you're good, sponsors.
Thank you. But he knows, he is aware, he wants to control it. He is controlling it. You don't approve of it, maybe the workers don't work, but it works. Self-medication in this case has an ameliorating effect on his behavior. Now, with respect to mom, I don't hear anybody saying she can't go to visitation. I don't see any reason why he can't go. I mean, if push comes to shove, they can always terminate the visitations, but I don't think he's expressed, I think he's been very candid with us. I didn't hear him say he was ever feeling like he had threatening motivations towards a caseworker, threatening motivations towards a supervisor for visitations, none of it. And he went on quite a bit of detail about his status and where he's at emotionally. No, I don't see it. I just see he's different. I think he knows he's different, but that doesn't mean he can't visit with his child. And I'm opposed to any kind of limitation short of this. I agree with the need for supervision. I agree with that. But that's as far as I'm willing to go. Other than that, I don't see what the issue is. If it gets worse, I mean, we all know it, the DHS has got the ability instantaneously to terminate visitation and to ask this court to continue the termination. Have they said he harmed the child? No. Have they said he's a little is he negligent about that? The tabletop thing is a bad thing. You can't do it.
Yep.
But he learns, he listens. Now, he should be allowed, my client should be allowed supervised visitation with their child. As for bad language in front of the kid, the child, come on. How old is this child? A week old, 2 weeks old?
They were even stating, sorry.
All right. That's just ludicrous. That child hasn't got a clue on earth what's being said. I don't know if even a child can hear well at the age he's at. Probably not. But no, he's too easy a target. But none of it points to him being a threat to anybody. I suspect if he was a threat, he is aware enough, he would know he's escalating. And he'd go outside, he'd take some marijuana, and okay, nobody likes it, too bad. But he's not threatening anybody, and he should be allowed to visit with his child. Thank you.
Ms. Underwood.
Sorry, that was more about.
Your Honor, I am more in line with Ms. Thomas and her recommendations. And after hearing testimony from Mr. Harmon Duckworth, I am absolutely concerned with the safety of the workers and the caregivers. He indicated and displayed that he did carry a knife around, and while his explanation may seem appropriate to him or to others, why in the world would you display how to carry a knife and what you would do with it if you're going to be threatening to a caseworker? That would be very concerning, and I would myself have felt very unsafe in that circumstance. As for his behavior at the visits, I also agree that that's inappropriate, and his parenting time should be suspended. He testified that he has to be high or tipsy, I think he said, in order to be calm. Yet, if you're high and tipsy, yes, you're calm, but then no, you can't parent your child. So it's a vicious cycle. I agree that a psychological evaluation needs to occur, and hopefully we can make some headway on appropriate treatment for Mr. Harmon Duckworth so that he can have parenting time with his child in the future. However, I believe that the other attorneys, with except for Ms. Thomas, are minimizing the behaviors that have been testified to by Ms. Harvey and by Mr. Harmon Duckworth himself. I disagree that he knows his limits. Clearly, we're here for a reason, and he's even testified that he can't keep the home clean, which is one of the reasons why the petition was even filed. So I believe that there is significant safety concerns both for the minor child as well as the caseworkers, as well as Ms. Lomas and her mother. And so for those reasons, I believe that placement with the department is still appropriate for the minor child. I would recommend that all parenting time for dad be suspended pending further investigation and further psych evals, and that parenting time for the mom be supervised without Mr. Harmon Duckworth present. Thank you.
All right, thank you. So the court finds that all interested parties were given notice for purposes of the continuation of today's preliminary hearing. I do want to confirm that I think that the reasons for the removal continue to be they continue to create a reasonable risk of or an unreasonable risk of harm associated with allowing Silas to be in the care of either parent at this time. We've heard Mr. Dakota Harmon Duckworth confirm himself that he has some pretty significant diagnoses and some very some triggers that put him on edge on a regular basis, that he self-medicates with very high levels of marijuana in order to try to control some of those impulses that he has, and even when he is self-medicated, that he has some trouble controlling those impulses. That was demonstrated by his actions around Ms. Jill Harmon during the time that she was at the home. And again, Dakota himself confirmed that he did bring a knife into the room where she was at, demonstrated that he was using it in a safe and knew how to use it in an unsafe way. None of that is appropriate or necessary during a visit. There's no reason at all that there should be a knife brought into the room while a CPS person is there for any other reason other than to intimidate that particular worker. He's admitted to us that he has triggers as when he has to ask someone to do something more than one time, that his mother-in-law has taken him to what he referred to as, I think, level 2 over 6 times in the last week, including at one point over the fact that she had made a bed and moved it several inches over. We have the indications that Jill Heilman was in the process of interviewing the mother, the grandmother, and that the grandmother shut down and was unable to complete the interview because when Dakota arrived back at the home, she stopped talking. So there are a lot of indications that the home where these two parents are residing is not safe. And I would go as far as to say that it may not be safe for the grandmother and the mother at this time. And I think Dakota Harmon Duckworth is doing the best he can under the circumstances with this diagnosis to mitigate these risks. And I'm hoping that voluntary or involuntarily, he's able to access some additional services through the department to help control some of those impulses and alleviate the risk of harm associated with his diagnosis that he shared with us today. In the meantime, I will ask the department to look at those potential resources for him, to look at a psychological evaluation for him. I know that there are some good resources over at Adrian Psychiatric and Counseling, and you have your own resources as well, but we need obviously someone who is capable of looking at Mr. Harmon Duckworth's psychology and psychiatry needs and look at how we can help support him to be safe around himself and the people he cares about. He's able to do that voluntarily prior to pretrial and trial, of course, and we'll ask him to do that in order to make sure that he's safe during parenting time. In the meantime, I will allow him to have the virtual parenting time. I think that's a good suggestion by Mr. McFarland. And we'll ask the department to do a family team meeting to arrange some time where he's able to do some virtual parenting time with his child, virtual supervised parenting time, pending pretrial and trial, and I'll look for an update on that time at pretrial. I will also allow Ms. Jacqueline Lomas to exercise supervised parenting time. That will have to be done at the department, and arrangements made also during an FDM, and if that's going to be outside the department, to ensure that Mr. Dakota is able to not be part of that particular time. And there will be obviously some need to plan around that in order to make sure that he's able to be supported in curbing his impulses if he has frustrations around that point. So I won't be asking our service providers to do that in a vacuum. I'll ask you to try to arrange that parenting time either at the department or in a public place so that you have the resources you need to keep the situation safe and civil for everyone.